Colorado parents are hurrying to get their young children vaccinated.
And I understand people are at different places with the vaccine, but to keep Carl safe, I felt it was really important.
But some aren't feeling supported by their child care provider after their kids get the shot.
I just don't think it's fair, and I think it's discrimination to discourage children getting vaccinated.
Lord Stanley's cup is precious cargo.
And the kitchen lit up. I'm just like, what's happening?
But one wrong turn led sports' most famous trophy into the hands of complete strangers.
He opened it, and here's this sparkling thing in this box with this velvet cover. I said, "Can I touch it?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, you can touch it."
Thank you for watching Denver 7 News at 6. I'm Ann Trujillo.
I'm Shannon Ogden. Pediatric doctors' offices all over the Front Range are moving forward with vaccinating children under 5 for COVID-19. More than 5,500 now have been vaccinated just in the past week in Colorado.
And today we stopped by Southeast Denver Pediatrics as they hosted a clinic for kids ages 6 months to 4 years old. And we spoke to a doctor and a parent who say this is the latest step to get past the pandemic.
We still hear kind of like entire families that got sick because the little kids actually brought it home. So that's why it's important. The entire family can get protected.
I understand people are at different places with the vaccine, but to keep Carl safe, I felt it was really important.
But parents at one daycare say they feel like they're being punished for getting their kids vaccinated, and they reached out to contact Denver 7 for answers.
Here is Denver 7's Jacqueline Allen.
Finding childcare in Colorado is next to impossible. So parents reaching out to contact Denver 7 about this daycare in Arvada needed to protect their identity for now.
By discouraging the vaccine, you are creating a more dangerous environment for our children.
They're all concerned about Foundation's Early Childhood Education's new COVID-19 vaccination policy. It requires children stay home for 7 full days after each dose.
I just don't think it's fair, and I think it's discrimination to discourage children getting vaccinated.
In an email to parents, the owner cites many unknowns about the vaccine, writing, "Our fear is that a child will have an injury or side effect from the vaccine while in our care, and the school employees will be held liable." Parents must sign a form suggesting vaccine side effects could include paralysis and death.
So paralysis and death, not observed.
We brought the daycare's claims to the state's immunization branch chief, Heather Roth, who says the side effects are the same as any other vaccine.
They're nothing out of the ordinary. They're temporary. They go away in a couple of days. To require a child to stay home for 7 days and not have childcare, this could be a serious hardship for parents. Is this something that CDPHE would discourage? Again, our department does not recommend implementing policies like this.
The daycare's owner did not respond to our emails or phone calls, and teachers told us she wasn't here.
We're forced to either sign this form or find other care.
The parents who contacted us are desperately looking for other child care, worried the extreme policy will be a hardship and a health risk.
I think it's also important to spread the word about what's happening and the misinformation that's being propagated.
For Contact Denver 7, I'm Jacqueline Allen.
The State Department of Human Services oversees daycares, and they tell us they're working to provide resources and education to this provider, their words. Now, COVID-19 is not a required immunization, so Foundations is not violating licensing rules. And to give you some context here, Jacqueline checked with multiple daycares and found this policy is in no way the norm. A more common policy is to encourage vaccination, and if your child doesn't feel well, keep them home.
Colorado is one of 9 states receiving additional doses of the monkeypox vaccine. A spokesperson for the State Department of Health says it's not known how many doses our state will receive just yet, but supply will remain very limited for now. There have been 6 confirmed cases of monkeypox back in May and June in our state.
Well, the stage is now set for November's general election, aside from just a couple races still too close to call. Now, the races, though, that will impact most Coloradans are final. First, let's take a look at the race for governor now. Republican Heidi Ganahl beat Greg Lopez in the primary last night, so this sets up a showdown with Governor Polis in November. The Republican nomination for Secretary of State will be Pam Anderson. She beat out Mike O'Donnell, and Tina Peters, the embattled Mesa County clerk being investigated for tampering with election software. Anderson will face the incumbent Jenna Griswold. Democratic U.S. Senator Michael Bennet now will take on Joe O'Dea. O'Dea beat out Ron Hanks, who, like Tina Peters, is a 2020 presidential election denier. To the newly created 8th Congressional District now, which stretches roughly from Thornton to Greeley, Republican State Senator Barbara Barbara Kirkmeyer will take on Democratic State Rep Yadira Caraveo. And this race is seen as a toss-up right now by many national experts. So what has last night's primary taught us about the state of politics in Colorado? We asked DU political science professor Seth Maskett.
There's going to be probably a slight Republican tilt to the environment overall, but Democrats have some on-the-ground advantages. So it's likely to be just a very competitive and very expensive environment. One thing that we're going to see is Democrats trying to tie Republican candidates to Trump as much as possible. Republicans are going to be trying to distance themselves from that, and to the extent they can, make it more of a referendum on Joe Biden.
So as of right now, the Democratic race for State House District 6 and the Democratic race for CU Regent District 1 still too close to call. And we have a breakdown of all the biggest races and those yet to be decided right now on thedenverchannel.com.
Downtown Denver is prepared for a party tomorrow as hundreds of thousands plan to make their way out to celebrate the Avalanche's Stanley Cup victory. Today, city crews are busy painting burgundy and blue stripes along tomorrow's championship parade route, as well as changing street signs in honor of the Avs. Denver 7's Russell Haythorne is joining us from Union Station, where the parade will start tomorrow. Russell?
Yeah, that's right, Ann. They're expecting 200,000 plus people in downtown Denver tomorrow. As you mentioned, the parade starts right here at Union Station, goes down 17th, hooks a right on Broadway, and ends up at Civic Center Park. We're definitely going to see the Stanley Cup during that parade tomorrow, a cup that took a little detour earlier this week.
Yeah, we did.
Now we know.
Kit and Dimitri were not expecting a delivery Monday afternoon.
The guy came to the door, met the dog, shook our hands like he was supposed to be here. And I'm like, well, who are you?
Certainly not a delivery in a giant blue velvet-lined case.
He acted like I was expecting him.
They opened the trunk and it's afternoon, sun was shining on it. And I was in the kitchen and the kitchen lit up. I'm just like, what's happening?
The moment it showed up, caught by their security camera.
I recognized from of course, of the games, watching the games.
The black chest.
The black chest. And I just jokingly said, and he goes, yeah.
Indeed, Lord Stanley had taken a wrong turn, bound for the captain's house, misdirected to the modest house down the lane instead.
I said, can I touch it? And he goes, oh yeah, you can touch it. And I felt the rim because I thought I saw the dent on it in the game 2 nights before.
Kit got just one photo, which he posted on Nextdoor, filed under Lost and Found.
It never came to mind to take a selfie. A chance of a lifetime, and I took one photo.
If they didn't know before, Kit and Dimitri certainly know now. Some of their neighbors
Location
are quite famous.
Somebody named Landeskog.
Yeah, I didn't know about that, but I have amazing neighbors and the community's just been awesome.
Are you guys hockey fans?
Are now.
They are now wholeheartedly, and the city just came out with a list of do's and don'ts for tomorrow. Also, Big Head Todd and the Monsters, they just announced that they'll be performing at Civic Center, but here's a list of do's and don'ts. Do bring water hats, sunscreen, your Avs gear, and patience. They say don't bring chairs, blankets, or seating of any kind, large backpacks, cans, bottles, alcohol, marijuana, weapons, and drones are also not acceptable along the parade route. But come for the party, Ann and Shannon. It is going to be a big one. Starts here at Union Station, ends up at Civic Center tomorrow. We're live in downtown. I'm Russell Haythorne. Back to you guys.
Yeah, that's going to be so fun. All right, Russell, thank you for that. And today, fans lined up at the Raising Cane's at Alameda and Sable for a chance to get served by Gabe Landeskog. The Avs captain helped hand out meals to customers in the drive-thru. There were so many fans out there, Aurora police had to monitor the area because of all the traffic.
And the parade gets underway 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, but as you're getting here, the city's recommending you get there early, try to beat some of the traffic. RTD says several bus and light rail routes will be impacted because of the closures downtown. Here's a look at the route here. The parade starts at Union Station, as Russell said, heads down 17th Street to Broadway, and then will end at Civic Center Park. And we, Denver 7, are partnering with Altitude Sports to cover all of this fun live on Denver 7 and on thedenverchannel.com. Our pre-parade coverage starts at 4:30 tomorrow morning. Our big parade show starts at 9:30.
Getting people off the streets takes trial and error.
Ultimately, every Denverite wants to see people in housing and not on our streets and in our shelters.
Denver city officials are moving forward on a plan they say has an 80% success rate.
There's some dark skies out there right now with scattered storms. This cold front means more storms tomorrow.
Plus, a rock slide caught on camera at Rocky Mountain National Park, and we hear from a man caught in the middle of it.